Hello, everyone. Today I want to share something very simple, yet deeply profound, that difficulties and value are always connected. Have you ever wondered why the things that truly matter in life often don't come easily? Or perhaps, at times, you feel tired and discouraged when everything seems too difficult. I'm sure you felt that way before. But what I want you to reflect on is, it is those very challenges that shape your value. In fact, everything in life comes at a cost. Imagine if everything were easy, from studying, work, to the big goals in life. Do you think they would really have value? Or would they just be something easily obtained and quickly fading? A motivational expert once shared with me, "Difficulties are not enemies, but companions on the journey to success." I've thought a lot about this. And I realized that the moments when you overcome challenges, not only do you become stronger, but you also gain a deeper understanding of the true value of life. Don't wait for someone else to encourage you. Find the fire within yourself. Don't be afraid of difficulties because they will help you grow. They will give you invaluable lessons that no one else can offer. Are you ready to face those challenges? When you face hardship, the first feeling might be despair. You might think, "Why me?" Or, "I can't do this." But if you really stop and look at it from a different perspective, you will realize that those challenges are not meaningless obstacles, but opportunities for you to grow. I want you to imagine something simple. Think of a strong tree. Do you think it could stand firm in a storm without enduring strong winds? No. It is those very winds, which might make the tree seem weak at the time, that help it grow stronger and more resilient over time. Life is the same. You cannot grow and become strong without going through challenges and hardships. In fact, most major achievements begin with the most difficult moments. A successful person is not someone who has never stumbled, but someone who stands up after every fall. An inspiring story I always remember is that of an entrepreneur I once knew. He started with a small amount of capital, but after years of failure, he was able to build a company worth millions. What mattered was not that he didn't fail, but how he stood up after each failure. You can't expect an easy life. The truth is, those challenges will help you discover a strength within yourself that you never imagined. And most importantly, you'll never have to face them alone. Remember, you can find motivation within yourself, from the lessons you learn every day and from never giving up. When you look back on your life, do you ever notice that the most difficult moments are when you learn the most? Perhaps, when facing a major failure, you felt like the world was collapsing, but only when you look closely will you see that it was those challenges that taught you perseverance, that taught you how to rise up after each fall. Surely you remember the first time you truly felt you couldn't overcome something. I've had those moments too, when I didn't know what to do, feeling as though I was standing at a crossroads, not knowing which path to take. But I realized that every path will have its own challenges, and it is overcoming those challenges that helps us grow. Imagine if everything in life went smoothly. If you never had to face any obstacles, would you be able to appreciate the value of your accomplishments? Valuable things rarely come easily. I remember a saying I hold dear: "Nothing valuable comes without facing challenges." And it is the challenges, the moments when you have to face hardships on your own, that help you realize your true strength. Indeed, every challenge has its reason. You may not understand it at the time, but later on, when you look back, you'll see how those difficulties helped you grow in ways you never imagined. So, keep going, even when you feel tired, because each difficult step you take is actually one step closer to your growth and success. So, what is it that makes us often hesitant to face difficulties? Is it because we fear failure, pain, or because we don't want to step out of our comfort zone? I understand that feeling. We all want a stable life, without facing too many big challenges. But have you ever thought that it is precisely these difficult moments that provide an opportunity for you to discover something amazing about yourself? You've probably heard the saying, "Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about learning to dance in the rain. The storms of life, the difficulties and challenges, are not something you can avoid, but you can learn to face them, to use every moment to better yourself, to grow stronger. I want you to imagine a time when everything becomes too difficult, and instead of backing down, you will face the challenge. Look at the problem you are facing and say, I can do this. I've overcome difficulties before, and I will overcome this one. In those moments, you will realize that true strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from facing it and overcoming it. The most important thing is that you are never alone in this journey. Everyone has the potential to be a winner in their own life, as long as you don't give up. These challenges will teach you the most valuable lessons about resilience, about the ability to bounce back, and about believing in yourself. The more you overcome difficulties, the more you'll realize that your true strength lies in your ability to rise after every fall. So, why do we fear difficulties so much? Is it because we've grown used to comfort, to easy things, and the uncertainty makes us feel insecure? The truth is, this fear is not something new. It's a natural human instinct, the instinct to avoid pain and seek safety. But sometimes, comfort is the greatest enemy of growth. Think about it. If you always choose the easy path, would you ever truly achieve anything valuable? Successful people are not those who avoid difficulties, but those who know how to accept them and learn from them. Great entrepreneurs, scientists, and artists all have one thing in common. They never run away from difficulties. Instead, they see each challenge as an opportunity to grow and push their limits. One story I really like is about a famous explorer. On his journey to explore uncharted lands, he faced numerous challenges: extreme weather, lack of food, and dangers from wild animals. But what's remarkable is that despite the storms and intense fear, he kept moving forward. Why? Because he understood that it was in those difficult moments that he truly discovered his own strength and pushed past limits he never thought possible. And I want you to remember that life won't always be easy, but each time you face a challenge and keep going, you're building an invisible strength, a strength that comes from within, from the decisions you make, from the steps you take, no matter the circumstances. These moments will shape you into a stronger person, someone who can face any challenge that life throws your way. You've probably heard the saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." But have you ever wondered why challenges and failures can create strength? It's because it is in those moments when you feel like everything is collapsing that you realize you have the ability to overcome your limits. Without challenges, you'll never know how strong you truly are. I want you to think about a time when you felt completely exhausted, when you didn't have the strength to continue. You might have thought about quitting, thinking you couldn't do it anymore. But then, something inside you, maybe a little belief or a small thought that "I can do this," kept you going. And when you look back, you'll realize that in those moments of weakness, you developed a strength you never imagined. There's a great story about an athlete. He had to face numerous failures in his career, from serious injuries to losses against stronger opponents. But instead of giving up, he chose not to let those challenges bring him down. He found motivation in those very hardships. Each time he fell, he got up stronger, learned from his failures, and came back even better. Eventually, he became a champion. Not just because of his talent, but because of his persistence and never giving up. We are all the same. Life will always have its tough moments, but if you can learn to see difficulties as part of your growth process, you'll discover that those challenges are stepping stones to great achievements. Always remember, strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from facing it and overcoming it. It's in those moments that you truly find your value. When you think about the difficult moments in life, you might feel like they are just heavy weights pulling you down. But in reality, those very moments are valuable lessons, challenges that help you grow. I want you to think about this. If life were always easy, what could you truly achieve? Where could you go without facing any challenges? Maybe you'd feel satisfied for a short time, but would you truly feel long-term happiness? When you don't struggle, you'll never know what true victory feels like. I remember a friend of mine, a very successful entrepreneur. He didn't come from a wealthy family or easy opportunities. On the contrary, he had to overcome many failures, from being rejected for investments to business failures. During those times, he also felt despair, but instead of giving up, he found motivation in those very failures. He didn't just learn to rise up, but he also learned to view failure as part of the journey. Today, he has built a multi-million-dollar business. Life is like that. Sometimes you have to learn how to rise from your falls, even from the most painful failures. But that's when you realize your strength. Every time you overcome a challenge, you'll feel more proud of yourself. You'll feel your own worth because you've conquered your fears and doubts. And when you look back, you'll see that those difficult moments were what shaped you into a stronger, more resilient person. There's one thing I want you to think about. Not every battle is won immediately, and not every path leads to success right away. But in the process of fighting and persisting, you'll realize that perseverance and resilience are the key factors that create truly successful people. Failures, those moments that seem unbearable, are the very bricks that build the solid foundation for your success. One story I always remember is about a famous marathon runner. He spent his whole life training for the biggest race of his career. Every day, he ran hundreds of miles, facing both physical and mental pain. But interestingly, he never thought about giving up, even when it seemed like he couldn't continue. After every exhaustion, he learned a lesson. Only perseverance brings victory. And in the end, he won the race that many thought was impossible. His success didn't just come from talent, but from his ability to endure hardships that no one could see. Have you ever wondered what you could achieve if you didn't give up? I want you to imagine this. You're in the middle of a journey, full of challenges and obstacles. Right now, you can choose to give up, but you can also choose to keep going. And along that journey, you'll discover that the things you overcome are what truly create value and meaning in life. Battles aren't always easy, but they're opportunities for you to recognize the strength hidden within you. So, keep moving forward, no matter how tough it gets, because in the end, you'll look back and be proud that you didn't give up. And then, when you look back on your journey, you'll realize something important. Nothing in this life comes easily and holds lasting value. Every step, every challenge, whether big or small, is part of the growth process. Truly, you can't appreciate the value of something without understanding the difficulties that come with it. Think about your major achievements in life. Would they truly be valuable if you hadn't struggled to achieve them? When I talk about facing difficulties, I don't mean to encourage you to seek out pain, but I want you to understand that each challenge is a valuable lesson, an opportunity for you to reflect and renew yourself. What you consider difficult today could be a major turning point in your journey tomorrow. We all have the choice to surrender or keep fighting, but when you decide to keep moving, you'll find that you're getting closer to maturity. There's a saying I really like. If you don't overcome challenges, you'll never see the reward behind them. That reward isn't just money or fame, but confidence, belief in your own abilities. It's what helps you stay strong in any situation and makes you a powerful, valuable person. Finally, I want you to remember one thing. Success doesn't come from smooth paths, but from the bumpy roads, full of challenges. It's in those difficulties that you'll discover the endless potential inside yourself. And when you look back at your journey, you'll realize that everything difficult you've overcome not only made you stronger, but also made you understand your own value. Keep moving forward, because you're getting closer to the wonderful things that life has prepared for you. And then, When you stand at the top of your achievements, you'll look back and realize that challenges are not just obstacles, but companions throughout your journey. Those difficult moments when you felt like giving up are when you truly find your own strength. You'll realize that without those difficulties, you would never have known you could accomplish such great things. Remember, every time you overcome a challenge, you're not just completing a goal, you're developing a better version of yourself. True success isn't the destination, but the journey you've gone through. And it's in that journey that you'll find your true value. So, persevere. Keep facing every challenge, because in the end, what you achieve will always be worth what you've put in. Believe that you are stronger than you think, and every step you take will lead to a life full of meaning and value. And you know what? It's those dark moments, those times when you feel lost, that will teach you the most important lesson in life: your ability to overcome yourself. When you face difficulties, instead of fearing them or trying to avoid them, you'll learn to see them as opportunities to strengthen yourself, to uncover hidden strengths you didn't even know you had. Don't forget that life isn't always easy, but it's those difficulties that measure your worth. Sometimes you have to face pain, failure, but don't let those things make you fall. Learn from them, and you'll see that every time you rise, you become stronger, more confident. You don't just overcome challenges, but you become a better version of yourself. Remember, success doesn't come from easy paths. It comes from your persistence, from facing difficulties and never giving up. And when you look back, you'll feel proud of what you've overcome.